Hello everyone, my name is Mohammed Radwan. I'm a Visual Studio ALM MVP and DevOps Practice Lead. So in this video, I'm going to explain how automatically we can create a staging environment for Dynamics 365 on the cloud on Azure. So in many scenarios, I would like to have a new machine ready with Dynamics 365 with all CRM solutions, all the new feature, everything in no time. Let me give you one of these scenarios. For example, I have many testers and all my testing environment is busy with other QA teams. And I have a new tester and I want to give them this machine so he can test the new feature. Maybe one of the business top the managers would like to test something and they want to have the new machine which they can looking at the new feature which we developed in this sprint. Or so there is many scenarios we would like to have a new machine ready with CRM, with all solutions, new feature and everything in no time. This is why I will show how to automate this process. So the first step start by preparing my current machine or my client machine. So in this step, I'm preparing my machine, which is a laptop or my PC that I will use to connect to Azure. So I will first install Azure Copy, Azure Storage Explorer. Also, I will install Azure PowerShell, which enable me to run command with PowerShell to Azure. Also, I will prepare the source of the virtual machine that I will upload to Azure. And the reason that I uploaded that locally because we want to have Windows Standard Edition, 2016 Standard Edition, and Azure doesn't provide all the edition existing on Azure, so I needed to create my own image. So preparing the source of the image, which is the virtual machine. And to prepare the virtual machine, I create a local virtual machine, start joining the domain, installing the CRM, of course with SQL Server, all updates, and start preparing the virtual hard disk to be fixed size because this is a supported type for Azure, and run some PowerShell command which prepare my virtual machine. And the main idea of running them to, for example, make sure that the remote desktop is enabled and the firewall rule set is enabled so I can connect to this machine when I upload it to Azure. So once I prepare that, I have a local VM ready to be uploaded to Azure. So I will going to Azure, start creating an Azure storage on Azure and click a blob container, and inside this blob container I will upload my VHD to Azure. So I will use to upload this, I will use Azure Copy, which is a command line tool, or using Azure Explorer, Storage Explorer. Both of them working as sync, so no problem to upload using both of them. If you would like to using the UI, go with Azure Storage Explorer. If you want to use the command line, go with Azure Copy. So once I upload that, I will have my VHD, then start creating an image from the VHD. And to create that, I'm using PowerShell Script to create an image from the uploaded VHD on the Azure container, on the Azure storage blob container. Once I have the image, I start creating a virtual machine from the image. So we can using the portal or we can using a command, a PowerShell script as well. So, and by just from the portal, by just clicking on the image and create new VM. And this will create a new instance of this CRM or Dynamics 365 virtual machine. Once I have that, I start running PowerShell script, which joins the machine to the domain. And then once I join to the domain, of course, this is a new machine, so the CRM will not work. And the Dynamics 365, it will crash because it's not working. So the first step is by editing a registry file with the new machine name and then running this file, which will edit the registry of the CRM with the new machine file. The next step is by running some SQL script which has I created to update the server name inside the CRM configuration database. And the main idea behind that there is no tools to configure uh, the change of the server name and the SQL server name. So I needed to find a way to do that. And in order to do that, I had to create a table, a stored procedures that search all tables to find the exactly values that I want. So I start searching inside the CRM configuration database on the name of the new machine and identified this table and these values, and I start running my script. So, and in this, I will update the script with the new server machine and running the script to update that. Uh, After that, the next problem is because we have a new machine, then the SQL Server reporting service will not work. And this because the reporting service doesn't understand the database of the reporting and because the encryption key. And to fix this problem, we will need to remap the the SQL Server reporting service with existing database using the new machine and also by restoring the encryption key of the SQL Server reporting service using the PowerShell and I prepared a script doing that. Once I did that, um, we will found also that the application rule of the CRM, dynamic CRM, is crashed, and this happened because the credentials is stored in a secure way on the machine itself. This is why moving to another machine uh, ruined the credentials, so I needed to re-enter the credentials of the application pool. This is why I prepare a PowerShell script which will fix the missing credentials. Once I have that, now I'm ready to change the configuration of the web address settings of the CRM server because you know and I will use the PowerShell of the Dynamics 365 so I can change the settings. So this is a complete process by how we are going to create the virtual machine uh, ready for that. So and as extra steps, if we just need to understand, in some cases also very easily we can create, if I have an Azure disk, I can from the portal create a snapshot. If I want to, now I have a virtual machine or I have a disk, and I can create a new VM from this disk by creating a snapshot. Once I have the snapshot, I start creating managed disk, and from the managed disk, I can create a VM. This is how we can create a new VM from an Azure disk. Another way, if I have an Azure VM, I can create an image by click capture this VM, which will give me an image, and then by clicking on this image and I can create a new VM. This is the way that we can use that. So let's see the demo and how we are going to create our process for creating the new virtual machine of Dynamics 365 ready by automation. So if we can see, this is the steps in this blog post. So the first one is prepare the client machine. So if we can see here, install the Azure Storage Explorer. So if I go here, click on Azure download. So this will also install Azure copy. I can use any one of them, not both of them, but I want to show different ways for doing that. So let's go for Azure copy, and here we'll install Azure copy. As Azure copy installed, let's This is Azure Copy and this is Storage Explorer. So let's install Storage Explorer. So let's find Azure Copy. As we can see, this is where the Azure Copy here on my machine. And if I write cmd from here and Azure Copy, then I found all the switches of this command. And this is Azure Storage Explorer, which is a UI. So now it's loaded and it's connected. Of course, I can connect here by connecting to my Azure subscription and then here navigating to the storage accounts. So let me show you very quickly how we are going to do something like that. So let me create a new storage demo resource group. And in this resource group, I will start to create a storage account. This is a storage account. Let's name my uploaded VHDs and images. So this will be, and I will use our new created resource group. If I go for the resource group, I can see that I will have here the storage account created. Just to give it some time, and in a couple of minutes it will be ready. Let's see here. As we can see, this is a storage container as a storage account. So in the blob container, I don't have anything. So I will create a new blob container called uploaded VHDs. So this will be the blob containers, and inside the blob containers, I can upload the file and upload the VHD. Remember, I have to make it page blob because by default it is blob, but I can't create a virtual machine or VHD image from a blob. It must be page blob. And it's work async, so no problem will happen. If I want using Azure Copy, then I will come here and on this and get shared access signature, and I will choose the date, and remember to choose a good date because in my case I choose a date which is not correct, which is caused the shared access signature to not work. Once I have the shared access signature, I can use that with Azure Copy from the command line. So it's very easy, very straightforward. So to get back here, now we install Azure Storage Explorer, Azure Copy. Now we will create the local VM. So the next is convert the VHDX to VHD and fixed site. And how we do that? Of course, if I'm loading from manual, by open the Hyper-V manager, then click on edit disk. Then I will navigate to my virtual hard disk selecting, then click convert, because the default is VHDX, so I will convert to VHD, then to be fixed size. This will be ready for Azure. So this is how we do this step. I start installing Windows Server, join the domain, install CRM update, and install PowerShell, Azure PowerShell. This is the latest version here. Just installing the MSI, then start installing the MSI, and that's it. So I will have it, and I can make sure from the control panel remove programs here, and here I will type PowerShell. We can see here which version I have, 5.11, but we can see that this one is 5.70. So installing the PowerShell and install the SSR PowerShell on the VM. I need to install these modules because I will run from the virtual machine the PowerShell that fix the encryption key and restoring the encryption key and fix the remapping of the reporting service database. So I will need to install this module, and I just copy that, and this is the virtual machine. Usually, let's say I will run PowerShell. It's better all the time to run an admin. So as we can see, I will run to install this module. So here, because I don't have the NuGet package, NuGet provider, so first I need to install the NuGet. Once I install the NuGet, I will install the modules of the reporting service. So here now I'm going to install the module. So this will download the library or the module of the reporting service PowerShell. Here a blog post about that, which is here. So here how to install, and once to understand all the command capabilities, I just run that. So here this will display all the switches, which one of them of course is restore the encryption key here, as we can see here, and another one is to remap the reporting service database that I will use to fix the problem later. So I installed that on the virtual machine, of course, before the uploading. We don't need that now. And once I install that, I start generalize the machine by running sysprep. Actually, the main idea is once we run that by running sysprep, I will click on generalize and taking enter system out of the box, which is this, and not report by shutdown, and click OK. And this will generalize the virtual machine so I can use it as an image. And click OK. This will generalize and shut down the machine. Then my machine will be ready for uploaded for the next step. So as we can see, I will create a new resource group and VHD images, create storage account, which is I showed you at the beginning, then start generating the shared access signature if I want using Azure copy, and start uploading that, and remember the page blob here using the Azure copy with the page blob. So here the page blob switch to identify the type of the uploaded file, and here I put here where is my VHD. This is the source and the destination using the address of the page, the blob containers, and of course here using the shared access signature. Copy that. This is using the Azure copy. or using the Azure Explorer, which is using the UI, and it's also using a sync, so no problem at all. So once I have that, then I start creating the image from the VHD. So let me show you, I already have some images here, and to also very important to show you that. So we can see here, this is a snapshot, and this is image, and this is disk. So if we get back to remember that I can create a snapshot from a VHD, uh, getting back to that one, once I have a VHD, I can create a snapshot, and from the snapshot I create managed disk, and from the managed disk I can create a VM. So as we can see, from any VHD you can create snapshot, and from the snapshot you can create a managed disk, and from the managed disk you can create a VM, or we can capture um, the virtual machine to an image, and from the image I can click and create a VM. How that? This is an image, so just click on the image, create a VM. This will create a new virtual machine from that image. And for the other part, which is this is a virtual machine, I can create that, but we can see that we don't have this option here because this is an older virtual machine. But if I go for this machine, we can see that we have capture here. By clicking capture, I will create an image of this machine, but this is because this is an older machine, virtual machine, then this capture is not available for that machine, but it's available for the new machine. So we can see capture here. So by capture, this will create a new image. How we create a managed disk from a snapshot of the VHD? It's very easy. If I go for the resource group and go for any of the resource group, then start adding new resource, and here if we can see that manage disk, and if I will here select manage disk, and I will create based on this manage disk, use existing, and we can see here from snapshot, and when I click I can see all the snapshots that I have, which I took them from a VHD. Then I can create a managed disk. Once I have a managed disk, I can create a VM from the managed disk. This is very quickly to how to create managed disk and snapshot and images on Azure. So once in my scenario here, creating the image from the VHD, it just by I connect to Azure, and of course we're using PowerShell. I connect to Azure. This will prompt for login to Azure. I start to log into Azure, and then running. I start Once I connect, I start creating the image, but I created the image from a PowerShell script. And the PowerShell script, I will give it the address of the uploaded VHD, which is a page blob, as we mentioned. So once I have it will be the image, it will be existing in my resource group. So I will have the image exactly at this image of the CRM. So this is the target. Once I have that, I start joining the domain. So just running the script to join the domain, and this script will join the domain. Here, run registry edit. So here, as we can see here, my new server name. So I will change that with the new server name, which is the name of the machine, the new machine created. And also this one, and this is a registry file, so double click on that, it will update the registry of the CRM. Then here I will run a PowerShell to execute two script of SQL Server, and here is the value inside the CRM configuration. So I make my SQL script here. You can just copy and paste, by the way. So here the name of the machine, so I put here the new name machine, and running this script and this script. Of course, also I need to put my machine name here, the new machine name here as well, and run this PowerShell which running this two script, and this will update all the configuration of the CRM. And just to show you some of let me show you this example. For example, if we can see here, this will update the deployment properties table. So if we go for CRM here to see this and connecting to the database, so we can see here this is the CRM configuration, and looking at the table deployment properties. So this is the table, and if I run let me remember the field here, update deployment properties, we have in the var car column, this is the name. So we have in the var car column, which is, yes, that's it. So here we have the name of the server, so we will update in the var car column here. This is also to update this script is for the SQL Server. Drop the old server name and add the server name. Here how I'm using the SSRS, so we can see how to set the resource SQL Server Reporting Service database. Here the new name of the machine, and here the name of the database of the reporting service from the database, and of course here I will use this as it is, and here will be the password of the reporting service encryption key, and here is the path for the encryption key. Here how I fix the application boot. First I need to import the web administration, and then running that with the username and password of the application boot, and here to change the CRM web address. To just give you a quick for that again, we can say, let me show you some of the help that I have blog post here. So for example here with Dynamics, I had to add the snap in of Dynamics first. So by running PowerShell, this will add the snap in. So if I get CRM server, for example, this will get the CRM server, and remember this is using the web service URL, which is this one. If I change that, this API or PowerShell will not work. So also I can get something like, let's say for example, get the current CRM server settings by clicking CRM settings. It will ask which settings you want. So if I told him this is the web address settings, so if I click that web address settings, it will give me all the web address settings as we can see, and of course I can change this web address settings but again I can change all of them except the last one, which is the one that running the API. Also, if I go for that about the IIS, we can see also that first I need to import this module. Once I import that, I can use set item property. We can, of course, it will ask for the path and all of that. So just showing that. So here how we're using that. And the other one is the SSRS, and we can see here this is how I get the command. Also, if I want to get help about it, and because I install it now, so this will download all the help, and of course I can get more help about the command that I want. So after installing the help, we can see that now I can, and as we can see, even I can get some examples. So I should get it from here. So as we can see, it gave me example 1, it gave me example 2. If I want to understand some example of any command, just write get help of the command name with example, and this will display many examples. So once I reach that, I run the web address settings, which will update all this web address on our main article, which is this one, updating all the web addresses. Of course, here we put the new machine here, and it will update all the web address except this one, because again this one I changed that using the database, because this is the API of the PowerShell, so I can't change that because it will not be available to running the PowerShell without changing that in the database first. This is why I'm saying that there is no tool to doing that. And once I did that, the CRM will work, and it is a completely new machine ready for your work. And the next step, of course, is to automatically migrate the CRM solution, the packages, and of course the new feature developed on the development environment to this machine. At the end, I would like to thank you for watching this video. Please, if you have any question, don't hesitate to contact me on my blog, mohammedradwan.com. And also you will find some links on the end of the video, and which is a link to my blog with more information about this topic, and also a video which is related to this series of this video, which can help you provide or help you with more information about this topic.